Hello everyone, welcome to part 48 of my story. So after I received my PSR report, which is the pre-sentencing investigation done by the United States Probation Department, I'm in complete, utter shock with the things that are in this PSR, and I'm not agreeing with it. So my attorney and me, we go over this PSR with a fine-tooth comb. I see there's multiple enhancements on there, and I see the money amount. The money amount is from 3.5 to $9 million. I'm completely disagreeing with this because this is giving me very high points. So at this point, I'm looking at 13 years imprisonment in the state of Texas and 13 years imprisonment in the state of Florida. And my attorney is explaining to me that this can go either way. I could be serving 13 years or I could possibly even be serving 26 years because it's up to the judge if she decides she wants to run this concurrently. And so I'm going over this paperwork. My attorney is filing motion. She's reaching out to the AUSA at this point. And she's basically arguing my valid points because she feels that my points are very valid at this time. So right around this time, I'm preparing for my daughter's graduation. She's about to be graduating high school in the midst of this big storm that has been brewing in the last almost year. And so we're preparing for her to graduate, and she eventually graduates, and she's already done her paperwork, and so she's going to be going to TSU in Houston. And so I'm very, very proud of her. I'm happy that she decided that still with everything that's going on, that she wants to pave the way and she still wants to do great things. And so I'm talking to her and I'm basically telling her, like, hey, no matter what happens, I want you to always fight for your place at the table and be like me. I know that it's going to be extremely difficult if I'm not there and she's out in this world alone. And she won't be the only one. So their father is also reaching out to them big time at this point. He's basically telling, my daughter how proud he is of her and trying to find out what is going on with me and acting like he's so concerned about everything. And so I hadn't been answering his phone calls or responding to any of his emails at this point because I just felt like it was no reason to communicate with him. Like, you had done so much damage already. You have completely destroyed not just your life, but your children's life and my life too. And I feel like he had a lack of disregard about it. That at this point, I felt like he could always talk his way out of anything. And that's what he was trying to do still. Well, so basically, my attorney is going over the contents of this email, and she's basically telling me that the AUSA at this point is separating you from your cousin. Me and my cousin were on the case together with my husband. However, me and him had been going to court together. I hadn't too much mentioned him in all this because I feel like it's his story to tell, but I don't think he would mind me sharing the fact that, me and him was on the case together. He was my first cousin, my mom's sister's son. And he was involved in this because he had been knowing my husband for decades, just like me. And he asked him to put some accounts in his name, and my cousin did it. And when he put these accounts in his name, he received over $750,000 in these accounts. And because he received that money, now he was going to go to prison for it. So my cousin now is about to be sentenced before me. And he receives a sentence of 28 months in federal prison. And they absolutely say, hey, this guy did have a lesser role in this. So he did receive 28 months. So my attorney at that point was basically saying, and your sentence needs to be something like his sentence. You had 0 of these accounts. And despite what the government is saying, all these other characters in this who are not being held accountable, that is not fair. So at this time, my attorney is basically telling me I need to get friends and family together to prepare them to put character witness letters together for me. And so I go ahead I reach out to several people, including all my family members, my sisters, my brothers, close friends. They put these letters together with ease and send them off to me, and I email them. So, of course, that's a letter enough from Uncle Earl. And I decide I'm going to definitely read this letter before I send it. And so I'm reading his letter, and it's not making any sense. He's writing, telling the people that I'm completely innocent of this, and that if I go to jail, he's going to die, and that, he's blind in one eye, that he gets Social Security disability, and that he's having a hard time buying food. And I'm basically like, this has absolutely nothing to do with me. And so me and my family were dying laughing at this letter. So it absolutely does not get submitted. But I talked to him one time before I'm sentenced, and he's telling me how he wish he could make the trip, that he really wanted to be there because he was going to get on that stand and he was going to tell the people the real truth, and that the people just laugh. And I was like, well, thank you, Uncle Earl. Everything is going to work out in my favor. But in the back of my mind, I felt that things were not going to work out in my favor. Like, I'm talking to my attorney, and my attorney is basically fighting for my life like she's fighting for hers. And she's telling me she doesn't like the way this is going because everything that she's submitting by motion is getting knocked down. But she's telling me all hope is not lost, that whenever I do come to court, she's going to submit these same arguments to the judge at this point. And so I'm optimistic at this point, hoping for the best, seeing that glass that's empty half full. And so eventually my daughters are telling me that their father is asking that I answer the phone, that he needs to talk to me. And of course, I have completely moved on at this time from him. I'm living my own life for what it is in the moment. I'm seeing somebody else, and he's got whiffed of that, and he's not happy about it. And so I tell my daughters, go ahead on and tell your dad he can call me tomorrow around 5 o'clock. And so they're telling him this. And so the tomorrow comes, and I'm waiting for this call. And he eventually does call. And the things that he told me in this call is the reasons that I would never, ever, 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 ever in my life deal with this man again.